Welcome to episode 37 of Basics and Beyond the podcast. Train for life, not the hype. We're going to dig in a little bit here. You know, the new year is coming, and a lot of us are going to create some goals and targets around movement and making those body composition changes. And there is a right way and there's a wrong way. And we're going to dig into some of the myths and talk about how you can start thinking about your plan for the new year and maybe get a jump start without all the confusion, the overwhelm, and the hype. Come on in. We're super happy to have you here. Welcome to episode 37 of Basics and Beyond, the podcast. Coach Laura talking to you today about training, working out, movement. I have had some really great questions come across through social media and talking with people face-to-face around training. Now, something you may or may not know about me is I've been a personal trainer since I was 18. Full disclosure, I'm proud of it. I'm 54, so it's been a while. And I've gone through a lot of different types of training, a lot of different types of certifications. I've watched the personal training space, the workout space kind of evolve over the last almost, 40 years. And there are some things that never change. Even though we may want them to change, there are some things that don't change. So it's really important for us to talk about what training and working out and moving our body looks like for us. And that is where you need to start. Everyone understands January 1st is coming. The new year is coming. We get these ideas in our head about, I'm going to start a new workout program. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to be 100%. I'm going to be consistent and all those things, though I will tell you 100% doesn't mean consistent. Okay. But if that is something you're looking for, is to start or restart, this is a great time to do it before we get to January. So let's have a conversation about what that could look like. The first place we need to start or restart is take a good look at where you are right now. We need to say and be really honest with ourselves. What have we been doing to this point? Where is our body? What can we handle? And where do we want to make progress toward, right? There are different things that we can create as goals. There are different things that we want to do in terms of what our body can do for us. When we think about training and workouts and movement, where are we right now? What's your baseline? Have you been a couch potato for a while? Great. Seriously, if you've been a couch potato for a while and haven't really been doing much, maybe your steps are pretty low, maybe that's a great way to start. Create a goal around moving your body more. Maybe it's not a huge, giant goal that we see people talk about on social media. Maybe we're not running a marathon. Maybe we're not competing in some sort of strongman. Maybe for you, it is saying, hey, I want to be healthier. I need to move my body more. I ache. I don't feel great. I don't have a lot of energy. What is that going to look like if we create a goal around moving your body more? The easiest way, the most successful way, the best way that we all need to be moving our body every day is getting our steps in. Now, everybody says, the ultimate, gold standard is 10,000 steps a day. You know what? That's not true. That's made up. It doesn't have to be 10,000 steps a day. What does it have to be? It has to be an honest assessment of where you are right now. Where you are right now, without judgment, without guilt, without embarrassment, without shame, without disappointment. Where are you right now? Because that is the reality. And that is the truth. We cannot make any advancement towards our goals if we don't start and end in reality and truth with ourselves. So where are you at right now? If you have been a couch potato, if you haven't been getting a lot of steps in, maybe your average daily step intake is 3,000, or maybe you don't even know. Take a week. See how many steps you get. Take a week. Maybe you're not logging steps. Maybe it's minutes. How many minutes of movement do you get every day? How many minutes of a walk do you get? How many miles of a walk do you take each day, right? Maybe it's multiple little walks, like, right? So it doesn't have to be steps. We can measure in steps. We can measure in minutes. We can measure in miles. All of those things work if we start from where we are and we slowly increase. So first step, first step, figure out where you are. And then set a bit of a stretch target for your daily movement. What is that going to look like? What is that going to look like? Some of us are already doing things. Some of us are getting our steps. Like, we feel really good about that daily movement piece, and we want to create a goal. Maybe we want to run a marathon. I ran, oh, good Lord, did I run a lot? In my 30s were my running decade. I tell people that my 30s was my running decade. I did 12 half marathons, 6 full marathons. And, and that sounds like a lot, but the training was a heck of a lot more miles than that. I'm going to tell you, but the training was very fun. I loved the process of training for a marathon or a half marathon. That was the best part, because it was setting a goal, and it wasn't running every day, but it was, what do I need to do today, just today? And then being in the moment and learning that each one of those runs, every one of those training runs was different. And I had to just honor where I was that day. Sometimes I had to go slower. Sometimes it felt great and I went faster. Sometimes I had to walk. And that's okay. So when you think about wherever you are, if you're looking to run a marathon, or you're looking to do some sort of endurance activity, like a goal, like maybe you're going to do not just a marathon, but there's like 100-mile bike things and all those things. Maybe you're looking for a little more endurance. Again, where are you right now? And what do you need to do to get to that point? What do you need to do to get there? And I'm going to tell you, yes, we talk about movement every day. Getting your steps in, going for being outside is great. Moving your body every day is important. When we think about training for something specific, whether it's a strength event or an endurance event, we're not training every day. We're not training every day. There has to be rest days. And when we think about like a strength competition, so for example, if you want to get stronger, right? You want to build muscle, you want to look like you want to show your muscles, right? You want to do those things. You want to be stronger. You're not going to train every day. You're not going to lift weights every day. You're not going to hit the gym and throw weight around and lift heavy shit every single day. This was a great conversation I had with a client the other day. His question was, should I not be doing something like a lift with my legs every single day to get stronger? And I said, let's look at the data. We have been getting stronger. He is getting much stronger. And we don't lift, for example, legs. We don't do that every day. We don't do that every day. For him, he's older. He's really, honestly, very fit. We could do 3 full body days a week and be just fine. We could do like an upper, a lower, and a full body day, which is 3 times a week, but split it up differently, and be just fine. And he can get stronger. And those are that we've kind of been mixing it up, and he's getting stronger. Well, we have to look at, when we think about, even if it's whether it's endurance or it's strength, whatever your, kind of target is, we have to look at volume and intensity. When we think about volume, that's how much are we doing over the course of the week. You can't just look at the day. We have to look over the course of the week. How much volume are you doing? Is it too much? Is it too little? Everybody's in a different spot. How do you know? Well, one great way to know is, can your body and your central nervous system recover? Can you recover from your training days? Non-recovery looks like sleep is impacted, hunger is crazy or non-existent. You can't relax. Your moods are all over the place. You start to see decreases when you look at like the logbook for your day, if you're not improving with your lifting, with your strength training, if you're practicing, training for an endurance event, if your speed starts to decrease, if you notice a lot of fatigue, all of those things tell us that our body and our minds, CNS, are not recovering. And if that is the case, maybe our volume is too high. Maybe our intensity is too high. Volume and intensity kind of ebb and flow opposite of each other, right? If our intensity is really high, then our volume is probably going to be lower because each rep and each set is going to be super intense, which means we can't do as much volume because really the intensity is adding so much that we have to pull that volume back. It kind of equals out, right? So when we are thinking about how much are we doing, and I was a 6-day a week in my 40s. So we talked about my 30s. In my 40s, I did CrossFit 6 days a week. I couldn't recover from that. I buried myself. And I'm not saying that CrossFit is bad. That's a whole different conversation about how I feel about CrossFit. And that's my own opinion. What I'm saying is for me at that time, with everything else that was going on in my life and doing CrossFit 6 days a week, and I'm super competitive. So I always had to go hard and fast and long every day. That wasn't very good for my goals at the time. It didn't get me where I wanted to go. So I'm not talking out of school with this. I've done all the craziness. I've done all the overtraining. I've done all the over exercising. I've gone too intense. I've done too much volume. And you have to find the sweet spot for you. And I'm going to tell you, there is not one person who is not a professional athlete. So there's not one of us. I guarantee you, no professional athletes listening to this. So you and me, normal, average, everyday people, we don't need to train every single day. Now, here's the catch. If you're grabbing those 2-pound weights and you're doing 30 reps and you're doing like those, like I'm going to lunge and bicep curl and press over my head and do, your intensity is so low that you probably can do those types of movements every day. Because really at that point, it's kind of like going for a walk. You're just getting your heart rate up a little higher. It's more cardio. And you can do cardio 20 to 30 minutes a day, every day. You can do cardio every day if you are in a certain range for your for where you are in terms of how cardiovascular your body is, like how in tune to your cardiovascular system you are, right? So some people have done a lot of cardio and they're really good at it and their body functions highly with cardio. So maybe their heart rate can be a little higher and they can do a little more. Like I said, it really depends on where you are right now as to what goals you want to set and how fast or how slow you're going to get there and how well your body can recover setting those daily targets or I would go with weekly targets as to where you want that to happen and how you want that to go. It is very, very important to think about the fact that volume and intensity are both important. Are you recovering from your training sessions, whether it's endurance training or it's strength training? And I'm here to tell you, men, women of all ages, we should all be strength training. All. And you can do as little as 2 days a week. High intensity, right? High intensity meaning push to like 1 rep in reserve, like really grind those reps out when you're on those weight machines moving that weight. So when we think about what does movement look like for us? What does exercise look like for us? We really have to take into consideration, number 1, where are you right now? Number 2, think about where do you want to be in the future, far off future. And then we have to look at what are those small steps we can take weekly to get us closer to that goal. And as we go through, we have to reconnect with ourselves to see, am I able to recover from this? Am I truly making gains? Am I truly making progress toward those goals that I have in the future? Am I, if I want to look more muscular, am I doing my training days? Am I training hard enough? Am I training appropriately? Am I giving myself enough recovery? If I want to have an endurance goal, okay, am I doing the correct amount of training to help me create that endurance in my body, be able to do that 5K in a certain amount of time, right? Because you don't get there in one day. And you don't get there in a month. Maybe you don't get there in a year. Because here is the last and final key. You need to find things to do, and maybe it's a variety of things throughout the week and the month that you enjoy. Because movement, training, cardio is a lifelong endeavor to keep us healthy. At the root of all things, we need to be asking ourselves, is this helping me be healthier or not? Because we can overdo pretty much anything. So that's the final key. Number one, let's review. Where are you at right now? Number two, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? Number three, what are you going to do to get there? Number four, do what you need to do to get there. And number five, make sure that you're doing it in a healthy way, because ultimately it is about feeling good every day and being a healthier human being, mentally, physically, psychologically. If you have questions about training, cardio, endurance, boy, I tell you what, I've done it all. Not all of it, right? I've done pretty much most of it. Hit me with your questions. I would love to be able to either answer them directly for you or answer them in a podcast or on socials. It's a big topic. We just kind of glanced over some things, but as you're moving into the new year and you're thinking about what do those new year targets, goals look like, my objective is to help you be sensible, to help you say, okay, I need a foundation. What's my foundation? And to move in a way that gets you toward progress, not progress for a week, not progress for a month, progress for a lifetime. Let me know what questions you have. I'm so excited that you came today and had a chance to listen about training. Follow me on socials, Instagram, Facebook. Geez, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on YouTube. I love YouTube. I do shorts on YouTube. They're super fun. So follow me everywhere. Let me know what questions you have. I am here to help you have a wonderful end of 2025 and an awesome 2026.